This is Unexplained America, and I'm your host, Lisa. And today I do have a special guest host, Amber.
Hello, hello, hello.
And this is our Halloween fun, spectacular episode. Very special. And before we get started, I do have 2 Patreon shout outs, special Halloween shout outs to Brandy and Tracy. Thank you so much for joining the Patreon. If you wish to join the Patreon, go check out the show notes and click and join, and you get tons of bonus material. So yay.
Yay.
Yay. So again, this is Halloween special. It is the Bloody Mary episode and not the drink.
Oh, okay. Then I'm in the wrong place.
I've never had a Bloody Mary.
I have. They're good. I like them a lot. I haven't had one in a long time, though.
I don't like tomato juice.
I do. I like anything salty, savory, so I really like Bloody Marys.
So, okay.
Even if they don't have alcohol in them, I like tomato juice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, good. So, I always thought that people drink Bloody Marys when they have, like, a hangover.
Yeah. They call it hair of the dog. Like, hair of the dog that bit you. So,
that just sounds disgusting. Yeah. All the way around. So again, this is Bloody Mary, the folklore, and not the drink. But yes, at least you can let us know how you feel about that. So the lore says if you go into a darkened room with a mirror, we'll talk about this, and you hold a lit candle and say, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, into the mirror, you'll be greeted with the image of Bloody Mary in the reflection in the mirror behind you.
interesting.
I mean, yes. So, and we are going to do this.
Oh, we are.
We're going to pause a little bit into the, like, once we get kind of past all this fun stuff, we're going to do it, and then we're going to talk about it.
Okay.
Have you ever done it?
Well, yeah, of course, like at slumber parties and things like that. I mean, Bloody Mary, as far as folklore goes, I mean, the saying the name 3 times or something about threes, I think, is, a folklore type thing. And
They always say that,
like Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
yeah, and they say it all goes back to even the Holy Trinity.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and in lore, I've always been really fascinated with that stuff. I love the movie Candyman, and that's kind of the same concept. So, yeah.
I never did Bloody Mary in the mirror, so this will be my first time. I remember being at your house, and I don't know who was doing it, but someone was doing it, and I'm like,
Sherry, it's always Sherry.
I'm like, I'm not doing it.
I refuse. Sherry's the one that I did it when back in the day, in the early to mid 90s, I think, was when I had my Bloody Mary episode.
So tell me, am I remembering correctly? So in your bathroom's kind of cool because it was the switch on the outside?
Yes, my bathroom, and that's where we all did it in that slumber party I had. My bathroom light turns off on the outside, and then, so you could literally trap people in there with the light off. It was so much fun.
And rude.
Yeah.
Especially if they were going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like a Bloody Mary deal. It was just like, you hear giggling outside. That was totally fun.
It was. Well, my mother has a lamp in there now, so you can't get trapped in there with that. The lights.
Well, she's smart, because have you done that to her?
Well, not in like this decade.
I tried, Mom, and at least you can say not in this decade. So that shows maturity. Yes. So now we're going to get in. We are going to talk about. I did find this little blip, and I thought this was interesting. So it said historically, like, young women, like way back in like Victorian times, that the women had to walk backwards up the stairs holding a candle and a hand mirror in a darkened house. And as they gazed into the mirror, they were supposedly glimpsing the view of their future husband's face.
Yeah, that's remember when we did the folklore episode and there were all those marriage lores and things like that. Yeah, I've read there's a lot that are kind of like in that
in this realm.
yeah.
I had never heard that, but it did say that, however, if there was like some women, if they saw a skull or the face of the Grim Reaper instead, then that meant they were going to die,
But an old maid?
but no, before they had a chance to marry.
Oh.
So they wouldn't even have. I know that turned dark really quickly. So I wanted to insert that little story because that I had never heard that variation, but there are a lot of variations. So kind of who is Bloody Mary?
Yeah, and
Lots of variations.
I had, like I told you earlier, I checked out a book that I was going to read, but part of me was like, well, why do it? Because I know you're going to research the heck out of it and I want to learn something new. And I've always been really fascinated with it. Like I said, a low candy man. But, you always hear these stories that she was a real person, that she was a countess or a queen or something like that. And, so I'm really interested to know the real story. So what have you got?
Yeah, it is interesting. So there's tons of variations. So there is one story that says Bloody Mary was a witch, of course, because that's all of us women are, right?
Yeah, when we don't, like,
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, and so and it says that she lived in a forest in a small wood cabin, and the local villagers like they knew her. They knew that she sold like herbal remedies and such, and the locals also didn't trust her. Like they just didn't trust her. They were scared of her because she would curse people and animals allegedly. So, and the story goes that in this village, this alleged village, small girls started to go missing. And people in the village, like once they went missing, one time they went missing and they were looking. They were looking everywhere for their daughters and they couldn't find them. And so it said that the town sent some men out to Mary's, and her name was Mary's cabin.
which was a very common name back.
I think everybody had the name Mary. It was like, to kind of see if they could find the girls. And Mary told the men the girls weren't there, and no one believed her, but they were still suspicious. And then they noticed like she had a really like normally she would have this really haggard appearance, but it had changed and she looked more attractive and young. And they never found the girls in this story.
That's very interesting. I see commonalities with that and, well, the Yazoo City Witch and and I was going to say Hocus Pocus as well. But, we did the Yazoo City Witch a few weeks ago, and what was that about? A lady living in a swamp. They thought she was a witch. All these men were disappearing. So kind of same concept. But yeah, you're right. Hocus Pocus, totally. That's the same concept as Hocus Pocus. So.
And it's always like a haggard old lady and children going missing. And I wonder if she was a virgin or a virgin had to light the candle. Anyway,
I don't know.
I don't know either. But there is a variation even to like this particular story. So one kind of layer on this is that the villagers like found her. She said she didn't take the girls. They didn't believe her, and so they burned her to death.
Are you sure we're not watching Hocus Pocus right now?
I know. I know.
It's just
I know. And then, so because they burned her to death, so when you chant Bloody Mary the 3 times in the mirror, you'll summon her ghost, and then she'll come and take your soul and rip your soul to pieces.
Oh, good Lord! And we're doing this?
Yeah, we're gonna do this.
No, I don't know. We may need to. I may need to sign some kind of release. I may need to sign some kind of release here, like we did in the Hot Springs Hotel. Didn't you forge my signature for that?
No, it just took. And what she is talking about, you guys need to go listen to the Arlington Hotel episode. We were put in a room, and it was not to my liking. And so they put us in this other, like it was a spring room. So the water was coming directly like from the spring. And so they make you sign a waiver. So because it's not like treated by the, water department. Oh no. And Amber, I'm going to tell on you, she refused to shower which I brush my teeth with bottled water. Like I didn't drink it or anything like that. But people like load up. I mean, they load up on this and they drink it like crazy. But
I always see them loading up out there at the fountains and stuff.
I don't understand the words Legionnaire's disease,
which there was a breakout of Legionnaire's disease this year. I kept sending you the links.
Well, that really happened. So go listen to that episode. But yeah. So she will rip your soul to pieces, and then not only that, Amber, you'll be trapped in the mirror yourself. Is this story?
Well, she didn't get my young age. I've already glued, and I'm in my mid-40s. I mean, that's ship sailed.
We're safe. We're so safe. And we are currently dressed up as Laverne and Shirley. We will be posting pictures all about that. So, FYI. A different Bloody Mary story is about a miller's daughter. And I'm curious. I'm like, what is a miller's daughter?
Well, what is a miller?
I'm going to tell you. So it is a person. It's just a man, because the men worked back then. But a man that worked in the mill, and the mill grinded corn and wheat for flour to make like bread.
Okay, now I read Canterbury Tales in college. It's coming back to me a little bit. There was some kind of Miller's Tale or something in Canterbury Tales.
So I wanted to look that up because I was like, miller's daughter. I really didn't know. I mean, I assumed, but I didn't want to assume. So, and I figured somebody else might not know either.
Like farmer's daughter.
Like a farmer's daughter, but in this case, he worked at the mill. So, one night, this girl, this daughter, she was interested in like a noise, and there was a noise that evidently she could only hear, like almost like a siren call, okay? And so the girl is just like following this noise and walking through her house, like she walks right out of her house like in a trance. And her mom notices. It says her mom noticed, and her mom was actually like laying down because she had a horrible toothache. And so she hadn't been up, so she was kind of behind the daughter or whatever. Her mom sees her go out of the house, and she cries out for the dad. She cries out for the father to go look for the daughter, okay, because she's ailing. So they both end up trying to get her, running after her. They're calling out to her to stop, and she's just going. Like she's got a head start, okay? Okay, so the father and mother, they end up following the girl. They're trying to get her. They're crying out to her to stop, and she's just so far ahead of them. Okay. They go and get help. They go get the townspeople, and you know what the townspeople do.
Apparently burn you at the stake.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I always imagine the townspeople like in Beauty and the Beast.
Or Frankenstein.
Yeah. The townspeople, they all gather, and they see this light at the edge of town where the forest is starting, and so they start going towards the light, okay? So,
like poltergeist?
Yeah. Apparently, yes. That's towards the light. I love poltergeist. So they're following this, they're looking for the girl, but they see this light, so they're following the light. Now, the girl, again, she had gotten away, they can't even see her, and when they get closer to this light, they realize the light is the witch. And again, her name is Mary, but it's not just Mary. She has a last name now. It's Worth. Mary Worth, okay? A lot of cases, this is her name.
Yeah, I had heard that. Okay, you're jogging, my man.
It's jogging, okay. They see Mary. She's holding what looks like a wand that has the light on it. And she's pointing the wand, and she's pointing it in the direction of the miller's house, okay? So she's just kind of like, she's luring that girl there. And so, and the wand evidently is glowing like unnaturally, eerily. It's like green, it's bright, it's freaking everybody out. So the people then see that the daughter is coming out like towards this light. They're standing there, they're towards it, and she's headed straight towards that one light. And they're like beside themselves. So the people, they rush ahead to the witch, and they have guns and pitchforks and probably those fire things, like fire batons. No, when they're like, when they need the flashlight.
What are the torches?
Torches. They have torches. I imagine they have torches. Or probably lanterns. And if they have a gun, they have a lantern. So yeah, they have their pitchforks and guns. And Mary sees this.
I haven't seen a good mob in a while, so I forgot what's.
No.
Yeah.
We should watch Beauty and the Beast. Or not. So Mary sees this and she breaks the spell over the girl. Like she, breaks and she runs. Like she breaks and runs into the forest. Well, the townspeople, they catch up to her. They shoot her. And then.
They had guns too.
But they have guns and pitchforks, it says.
I thought you said pitchforks and torches. I was sitting here thinking.
No, they probably have lanterns.
Yeah.
I was just imagining it's beast style. But yeah, they have guns. So they then, after they shoot her, they tie her to a stake. Mm-hmm. You know where this is.
Like Joan of Arc?
Yes, and burn her. They set her on fire. And as she burns, she curses the townspeople and tells them if they ever dare to utter her name in a mirror, she would come back for them. Her spirit would get revenge.
Oh, very, very close to Hocus Pocus and Yazoo City and all these witch tales. Yes.
And all these variations. And then the Candyman. And the Candyman. They made it a man. But yeah,
it was a really cool fur coat. I would totally wear it.
Yeah, fur coat in it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That movie, I guess, I don't know if it was just my age, but that movie really freaked me out. And it was about
13.
Yeah. And about that time, I remember being really freaked out by people under the stairs.
Me too. Ugh. That movie really made me sad and scared at the same time.
Yeah, that was, the tongue kid. Ugh.
Bless him. Bless his little heart. Ugh. And then he became the Aaron Burr guy with the peanut butter in his mouth.
Yeah, was that the same guy? I think so. Yes. I think it was.
Yeah.
Well, believe it or not, there's more. There's more Bloody Mary stories.
So Mary Worth.
Mm-hmm. So Mary Worth is a name we see.
What was the time period of this again?
I mean, those two first stories do not give a time period. They just date themselves with the guns and the pitchforks. So, and the miller's dog.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, there's no electricity, so that. Yeah. So another story, they do set a time. They say in the 1800s, there lived a young girl named Mary. So an illness came over the town where she lived, and it was making people drop dead after a short sickness. Now, the doctors, I mean, this is the 1800s.
So it could be malaria. It could be
anything.
Dysentery, influenza, pick a disease.
Yeah,
any disease.
Any. The doctors, when they couldn't find a pulse, then sometimes they would, because they couldn't figure out if they were breathing or not, they would sometimes get a mirror.
Oh, yeah.
And put it up to their nose just to see if they could see any type of breath. Now, this is the time period because people couldn't easily be pronounced dead, evidently. They would do the whole, bury them with the string tied to the bell.
Oh,
they would have to bury them, but they would have the string. So just in case they were buried alive, that they could at least, it was during those weird Victorian times, Edgar Allan Poe time. That you write about.
They did that on Days of Our Lives one time.
Oh, gosh.
They did. They buried Carly alive. Carly, yeah.
I never wired that, but yeah, I mean. Well, they would do this. This is during that time frame. And so they had that whole thing, and they would do that just in case, okay? Because these people were evidently popping back alive left and right.
That is absolutely insane. Just the thought about that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So they really needed to, alert people just in case they woke up.
Just in case they woke up in the ground.
Yeah. Now, Mary, she gets sick. She's bedridden, and she dies. And her parents are devastated, naturally. They are absolutely devastated. And she is buried. Okay? She is buried. Now, her grief-stricken parents, they didn't want to bury her right away. In fact, they waited a week, it said, because they wanted to make sure that there was no way that she was coming back. So they wait a week, and they actually have, after a week, the townspeople are probably like, we got to bury
I was just going to say, that was probably smelling very loud.
Allegedly. The towel, in fact, it said a neighbor buries the girl, but they still do the whole bell string thing, okay? Even though she's been hanging out, quote unquote, dead for a week. So they do the bell and string thing just in case. And lo and behold, once they bury her, she wakes up.
Oh my gosh.
And she pulls and pulls the bell, and like the neighbor wasn't there, the parents weren't there, nobody heard it, and she pulls it so hard that she breaks it. She breaks the bell apart, and then she is clawing. She is clawing.
I thought that's what was going to happen next. Oh my goodness.
She is clawing until she's just bloody red and dies. And her hands, and she's just covered in blood, and her gown that they had buried her in. So later on, okay, so she dies that way. Horrible. This is horrible.
Well, how do they know that she's scratched and stuff? Do they open her up?
Okay, so later her dad he checks on her grave, okay, and he notices the bell is broken. So he's like, oh my gosh, my Mary was pulling this bell, and they dig her up and they find her, and she is just like, it says that they open the casket and they find her petrified and stiff, and she is covered in blood, like her hands, her gown, and it's just awful. So they again, just to make sure she's really dead. I'm sorry I'm laughing, but this is crazy. They take the mirror to her nose looking for breath, and there is none because she is gone. But it said that her spirit attached to that mirror, and now whenever anyone says Bloody Mary the 3 times, she comes and claws at the unknowing victim.
That's pretty freaky. That's even worse than the first story.
That's probably my favorite.
That's the worst of the stories.
Which one's your favorite so far?
That, I mean, I think I have a favorite, but that one's definitely the worst.
You don't have a favorite Bloody Mary yet? No, other than the drink? We'll talk. Okay, so there's more to this, okay? This is going to get a little, I promise I won't go psycho crazy historically on you, but this, I have to. And this is my jam. So, the ultimate Bloody Mary is, especially if you're English, is Mary the First of England, okay?
And I have heard this one.
She is Mary Tudor. So we, of course, have to discuss this. And again, I'll try not to bore you guys too much with the history, but it's super important and it's super interesting and involves a lot of crazy. So remember that really fun guy, King Henry VIII? We got that song.
Yeah.
Let's sing it.
What?
That King Henry song, you know.
I don't know a King Henry song.
And it is a King Henry song, right? I don't believe so. I'm Henry VIII, I am Henry. Yes, I don't know. Okay, so let me know if you know the Henry VIII song. Okay, so Henry, who, loved to take people's heads off. Okay, so remember, he had his very first wife was Catherine of Aragon. And they were both, devout Catholics. They had an amicable marriage. They have Mary. So they are married. In fact, they are married like 24 years, by the way. So they have Mary in 1516. So this is their first child. This is their child. But Henry really wants a son. He wants an heir to the throne. This is his whole bane of his existence, okay? This is going to be his whole focus. Now, I will say, at that time in England, a woman could take the throne. It wasn't illegal.
Yeah.
We'll tell this. But to that point, there had only been kings. They didn't want a woman. It was just like, it could happen legally, but that was not what they wanted. And Henry wanted to continue the Tudor line. That was very important to him, too. So, again, a girl can take it. Henry was like, this possibility is not interesting to me. So, literally, after 24 years of marriage, Henry gets rid of Catherine. And of course, you know how he has to do that. He had met this Anne Boleyn, that one, and she was whispering in his ears about how he could throw away, you know, his wife, but he had to throw away his faith and completely revoke the Pope and the Catholic Church and become the figurehead of, you know, the new church, the Church of England. So he become Protestant. He completely throw everything on its head just so he could get rid of Catherine. Okay. And you can imagine this made people really angry.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Made a lot of people angry because Catherine was beloved. She was really beloved. So he does this, he does all this, and you know, he marries Anne. And she doesn't produce a son like she promised. She had promised, she was like, I'm going to produce a son. And then you know, everything's going to be great. She doesn't. So she does produce Elizabeth. Okay, so she does produce a daughter. And again, remember, she will be the Queen of England. Later on, we'll talk about her. She'll come back around, Virgin Queen. Now, Anne is beheaded. You know, she doesn't produce a son. He goes on, he beheads Anne to get rid of her, you know, treason, all that. They make stuff up. And they're cool with that. So then he marries a woman named Jane Seymour. And
Not Dr. Quinn Medicine.
no, I think probably related. Maybe. She does bear a son, and that becomes Edward VI, and that's in 1537. So she dies, like, I think 12 days later from complications. So he actually did not get rid of her. She died on her own. So he then, about 3 years later or so, he marries a woman named Anne of Cleves. Now, he literally is married to her for like 6 months, and he annuls the marriage because he is dissatisfied with her.
Imagine that.
Imagine that. So 3 weeks later, after he gets rid of Anne, he marries Catherine, another Catherine, Catherine Howard. And this is still 1540.
They didn't have a lot of names back then, did
like
they?
Catherine, Mary, Jane. No, there's not a lot of options. Henry's, yeah. So he, at that time, he is 49 years old and she is 17.
Goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so that is painful to hear.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's gross. Now, he has her beheaded only 18 months into marriage. Yes. Oh, I mean, she was 18 by that time. But yes, for the same reason that Anne Boleyn died, treason, all that good stuff. Or, you know, evidently she had some and it's all hearsay made up just so he could get rid of her. So he gets rid of her. He lastly marries his third Catherine. She's Catherine Parr. He marries her in 1543. And luckily for her, he dies 3 years later. Now, before he can get tired of her.
That was a lucky break for her.
I know, that was super lucky for her. So she can go on. I think she remarries and she lives a fine life, okay? So Edward is 9 when his dad dies. So he's obviously very young. He's too young to rule on his own. But they do go ahead and make him king, and he has like a regency council. So he has the council is really ruling.
Right.
He is the figurehead. Now, poor Edward, he dies of tuberculosis.
That's sad.
In 1553, and he was only 15. So he was too young to have kids and a marriage and all that. So he can't continue the line, you know. Now, he knew he was sick, so he tried to put a Lady Jane Grey. Have you heard of her?
I've heard the name.
He tries to put her on the throne. This is Edward, the kid. And she was, okay, so he did this because he didn't want, the next in line was Mary. Remember Mary? She was actually
the first kid.
She was actually in line, but she's Catholic. And he was like, you Catholic. I don't want that. So he puts Lady Jane Grey on there because he didn't want his half-sister Mary. And Lady Jane was actually Henry's grandniece. So she was in the line, but not really.
Wait. Did he have a bad relationship with Elizabeth?
Now, Elizabeth's just younger. Like, she's not in line. And I will say, Elizabeth she wasn't raised Catholic. Elizabeth wasn't. So, but yeah, she's like she's not in the picture right now. Mary was kind of in the picture. And, you know, the people are looking at this too. They're like, Mary's next. And remember the people had been Catholic and they liked Catherine. They loved Catherine. So poor Lady Jane, Edward set her up nicely. So she only rules for 9 days, and then all of Mary's supporters, they basically have Mary take over the throne and they kill Lady Jane. She is executed.
Really? Is there a movie about all this?
Yeah, well,
I've seen other Bow-Lid Girl, and I've seen,
and that doesn't get into it.
and I've seen that there was a show on Showtime HBO that I watched.
It gets into it a little bit, but not like this. Okay, so Mary takes the throne. So now Mary is on the throne. She is rightfully, legally the queen. She is the first queen of England. All the other queen of Englands to that point had been what's called a consort, which means they were just married to the king. Okay, so she was it. Mary 1 is it. She is the first rightfully legal queen. So cool. First queen of England. And she reigns for a total of 5 years. She does die of the flu epidemic in 1558. But in those 5 years, she earns the moniker Bloody Mary because she tries to turn England back to Catholicism. And in that pursuit, she has 284 at minimum, up to 300 people burned at the stake. All Protestants, yeah. She's like, I'm Catholic. You're going to burn. So just a little more tidbit on this, just because I love it. I love the whole royal thing in the history. But, Mary, so yeah, little tidbit. After, Mary dies, Elizabeth takes the crown and she reigns for 44 years. But she never marries, never has kids. And so that Tudor line that Henry VIII fought so hard for, it ends. It ends with Elizabeth. And it's so interesting to me. He wanted that son so bad, and his son, ended up passing away, and then his 2 daughters reigned. Isn't that interesting? But 44 years. She's actually one of the longest reigning, other than,
Elizabeth II.
Elizabeth II reigned for 70 years.
Right. Why did Elizabeth first have kids? Did she have a relationship?
So it was kind of a double-edged sword. So Queen Mary, it was like, okay, she ended up marrying King Philip from Spain. Yeah, to my knowledge. So she ended up having kid, but they didn't make it. I believe they tried and it never. So it was kind of like you were kind of damned if you got married and damned if you didn't, because you didn't, you couldn't produce more heirs. But if you did, some of the people didn't like the king that she took. She didn't end up actually producing an heir in the long run. And so Queen Elizabeth was like, I'm going to be my own thing. I'm going to rule the way I want to rule, and no one's going to tell me what to do. So she was like, interesting. Fierce. She was fierce. And she just didn't want to do what they wanted her to do, I think. I mean, she was just like, no. So, inspired by this Queen Mary of England, it is said that Bloody Mary, or sometimes called Hail Mary, like not as in a Hail Mary, but as in H-E, the place, Mary, because of all the bloodshed, and now when she died, she became a mean spirit that haunted people for all time after she died, because she was just, awful. So, and that was kind of, there's a lot of historians that talk about how it was just sexist calling her Bloody Mary. Actually, it says she didn't do anything different than the other, people did.
And it's just a dead lady walking around in a bad mood.
Yeah, she's probably really pissed off. But think of all of the 284 people she had burned at the stake. Yeah. So another legend, and we'll kind of, I think this is wrapping up the legend part, and then we're gonna go do our own session. But okay, so another take on the Bloody Mary is it's the ghost of an unhappy woman who either committed suicide due to having her baby stolen from her, or she was accused of murdering her child.
Oh.
Either variation goes that this spirit is crazy with grief, and or angry. So she's either really grief stricken or very angry, but
That sounds
flammable.
yeah, but that sounds like La Llorona. Like maybe it's from the same place.
Mastens. So she then would haunt the world's mirrors. This Mary is also known as Mary Worth and will appear if someone brave or foolish chants her name 3 or more times next to a mirror in complete darkness at midnight.
So brave or foolish. Well, we're not brave, so we must be the other.
I think I'm dumb. We need to try this. So it's said if you do this, Bloody Mary is capable of physical harm and will either, this is fun, will either kill you or disfigure you, possibly decapitate you, or just scratch your eyes out.
Or just scratch your eyes out.
Pick your poison. This is fun. If she's being merciful and nice, she'll simply make you insane. Sometimes she'll drag you into the mirror. And you won't know until you do it. So, we're going to break there and we're going to go do this and we're going to talk about it, okay? So, we need to have our own experience for you guys. Yeah, I'm going to take it. So, we are in Elle's bathroom. It's so cute. I redid it. So, we're in Elle's bathroom. We have the candle lit. It's dark. So, we're going to do it. We're going to do the
dressed as Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah. Doing it our way. I don't know the rest of it. Okay, so we look into the mirror and we say,
you say, I'm here. I'm the witness.
We say, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary, Bloody Mary. Do you blow out the candles?
I don't know.
Okay, guys, so
a little out of breath, but for not the reason you think.
Yeah. So at this point, I can say that we haven't been scratched.
Our eyeball hair still in play.
We do have a video. I will post it with this episode of the whole experience. I'll put the clip. I'll put the audio clip in there. Anyway, yes. So we go to the bathroom. We lit the candle. We did I did the chant. Amber was an innocent bystander. And then you scared me.
Oh, did I really?
She jumped. She goes boo or something. You boo. So I will play the whole clip. But so we did it. I think I'm good. Okay. I don't feel anything.
Okay.
But I will say it would be so cool if Mary Tudor came through the mirror. I would just be like, hey!
You would think that was so cool.
I mean, wouldn't that be cool?
I would be having a baby cow, and you'd be like,
oh, can I ask you some questions? I'll be like, tell me more about your dad.
Oh, no.
So that was an experience. So now I can say I've done the Bloody Mary.
I can't believe you never, but now that you say that, you never did it.
No. I remember, and I guess it was Sherry. I remember it happening at your house, but no, I never did it. And I don't remember ever, I had some friends when I was younger play with, the Ouija board.
Oh, no.
But
we didn't have that.
No, we did too.
Well, Ian.
I was about to say, at Corbett's house, we made one. You made one.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And then there was the time at the Crescent when I did not allow you to buy that paper one.
It was one of those win and roam type things,
We played chess.
We did, yeah. No, but Bloody Mary is just, especially in the South, but I guess everywhere, it was a staple at slumber parties. Just like light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Never played that either. Nuh-uh. I'm telling you, never played. I haven't lived.
Oh, wow.
We'll have to do that. So,
but we need more than 2 people to play light as a feather, stiff as a board.
Yeah, we'll have to get a crew. How many people do you need?
Usually 4 to 5 is a good number for lies.
What
about
thick birds? No, just kidding. No.
I remember very, very detailed, or I have a very detailed memory of playing light as a feather, stiff as a board at a seventh grade slumber party, probably one before that even. And then of course Bloody Mary, she was like, "Let's play the Bloody Mary," and then Lisa's like, "Y'all are stupid," and that would be how the night would begin with all that. I'm pretty sure that sounds
accurate. That sounds accurate. And tonight, it was reversed. You're like, I don't want to do it.
Well, I'm an avid Bible reader, and the demons in the Bible scare me, and I've got
Are real.
yes, and I've gotten where I don't even know if I believe in ghosts or that ghosts are just demons parade around like ghosts. And so any of that stuff just here creeps me out. And it's not that I don't, like scary stuff. It's just that I don't know. I'm like you, Bloody Mary. There's something about it. And I guess it was kind of ingrained in us as teens in the 90s, because that was, to us, that was the epitome of evil and scary and unknown, kind of like Freddy Krueger. I was also really afraid of Freddy Krueger as a kid.
Yeah, because he got you, like, you have to sleep.
Yeah,
so that's scary. And then I didn't like the fact that, remember, there was like a scene where he came out from under the bed.
Yes. Yes, or even
in the bathtub. He got her in the bathtub.
Have you seen Wes Craven's New Nightmare?
I know I have, but I can't.
Well, there's one where, like, he's looking under the covers and he's down up in there.
In the bed. Down up in there. Sorry. My redneck
has come out today. But yeah, I love the fact that Bloody Mary is so steeped in folklore and that these stories change so much, with different film conceptions and different books and things like that. And, I wish I would have read that book that I checked out of the library, but tonight I'm going to start it. But I thought, I don't want to, it's your turn to do a story and you let me have all that time for Yazoo. So I was going to let you do this, and not interject. But I do want to say that this is probably the most teenage thing we have done yet. And we have done a lot of things that would be considered, but that's fun.
Foolish.
But, well, I wasn't going to say foolish. Maybe just brave. But that was fun.
Take foolish. Well, also on the break, we not only did the Bloody Mary, but we did a lot of clips of us in the Laverne and Shirley outfits.
Yes.
That's why Amber was out of breath, because we did some.
What do you say?
I was out of breath.
Yeah, you were out of breath.
I do more cardio.
You do. That is for real. That is a true fact. You do.
We experienced that on our hike. Go watch that video. Our the Blair Itch Project.
And the fall is real in that, y'all. I mean, I was taping when I fell, and the phone went up in the air, literally.
Oh, I have the outtake of that.
I don't, because the very next day my phone got wet and shorted out, and so I don't have any.
I have the outtake, so I'll have to post that. But go on the social medias anyway. But go find the Blair Itch Project microfilm that Amber edited for us. Okay, so it was magical. But this is a fun episode. This Bloody Mary. I learned a lot about Bloody Mary.
Yeah, I did too. This was really cool and fun to hear. I had no idea that there were so many different versions, but
there's probably more. That's so crazy. Yeah, there's so many, and I like that each one is they're close, but they're far enough to be fun. It's like they're you can see the relationship, and then it's like bam, then all of a sudden you're talking about dying and decapitation and your soul being into
sucked out with a straw.
Yeah.
No biggie. No big. But I mean, I think wherever you go, you will have some different iteration of the Bloody Mary type situation.
I love how she has a last name sometimes.
What?
Mary Worth.
I love how she's a queen. She's a witch. She's a miller's daughter. I mean, she's so many different types of female.
I think Alanis Morissette said.
Yes.
We all know what I'm talking about. If you know, you know. But yeah, so I think, and probably we've talked about that a million times. It's like, yeah, if you're an old haggard woman, you're a witch, and but
If you're young and pretty, you're a Miller star.
yeah, and then you can just be a queen and kill 284 people. No big whoop. So, but this is a fun episode. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. I love doing the Halloween stuff.
I know the Halloween, and this is our special Halloween show. And then I'm going to be going into November, and it's going to be back to crime. But it's been fun. But this has been really fun because there's been no crime, so to speak, in October. It's just all been spooky stories, and it's been really fun. So yay. But thank you guys so much for listening. I would love to know if you have a different take on a Bloody Mary, or if you have a Bloody Mary story from your teen years,
or a recipe.
Yeah, or a drink recipe. Just go ahead and send that to Amber. Let us know how you make your Bloody Marys. But yeah, this was fun. And so please make sure to do all the things. Follow, rate, comment, whatever. So I appreciate it all. But thank you for listening.
Bye.
Bye.